You don't need a multi-billion-dollar ticket on a SpaceX Starship to witness the landscape of another planet, because as we move through 2026, geological research is proving that Earth is already hiding alien worlds in plain sight. For decades, we looked at the stars for signs of extraterrestrial life, but new high-resolution satellite mapping and extremophile studies are showing us that the most alien environments in the universe might actually be right here under our feet. These aren't just pretty tourist spots. They are geological anomalies where extreme heat, tectonic violence, and millions of years of biological isolation have created landscapes that defy everything we know about standard Earth conditions. Today, we are exploring 7 geological places that look like they belong on Mars, Venus, or a moon in the outer solar system. And the 2026 science reveals exactly how these environments evolved to be so strange. We begin our journey in the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, a place often referred to as the cruelest place on Earth, and for good reason. Sitting at the junction of 3 tectonic plates, the Afar Triple Junction, this region is literally being pulled apart, causing the Earth's crust to thin and allowing magma to sit just below the surface. The result is a landscape that looks like a direct snapshot of Venus. As you walk across the salt-encrusted ground, you encounter the Dalol hydrothermal field, a vibrant, terrifying palette of neon yellows, electric greens, and burnt oranges. These colors aren't from plants. They are the result of boiling hot springs that discharge supersaturated acidic water, rich in sulfur, iron, and potassium salts. The 2026 chemical analysis of these pools has confirmed that some of them have a pH of less than 0, meaning they are more acidic than battery acid. The air is thick, with the smell of sulfur, and the heat regularly tops 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a place where the geological and atmospheric conditions are so hostile that even the hardiest bacteria struggle to survive, making it the perfect laboratory for scientists trying to understand the limits of life on planets with runaway greenhouse effects. From the acidic heat of Africa, we move to the eerie, silent isolation of Socotra Island off the coast of Yemen. Known as the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean, Socotra has been geographically isolated for at least 20 million years, allowing evolution to take a completely different path. The most iconic feature of this alien garden is the dragon blood trees. With their dense, umbrella-shaped canopies and stark, twisting branches, they look like something designed for a big-budget sci-fi film. But the alien nature of these trees is actually a brilliant evolutionary response to extreme aridity. The canopy shape acts as a massive funnel, capturing the morning mist and channeling it down to the roots, while the thick red sap, the dragon's blood, is packed with antioxidants and resins that protect the tree from the blistering equatorial sun. In 2026, botanists are using genetic sequencing to show that nearly a third of the plant life on Socotra is found nowhere else on the planet. This level of endemism creates a biological time capsule that shows us how life might evolve on an isolated planet with a stable but harsh climate, far removed from the migratory patterns of a larger biosphere. If you want to know what it feels like to stand on the surface of the red planet, you have to go to the Atacama Desert in Chile. This is the driest non-polar place on Earth, with some weather stations having never recorded a single drop of rain in human history. The geological conditions here are so similar to the Martian highlands that NASA has been using the Atacama for NASA Mars simulation missions for decades. The soil is hyper-arid, hypersaline, and rich in perchlorates, the exact same chemicals found in Martian soil by the Phoenix lander. Because there is so little moisture, the landscape doesn't erode in the way we expect. Instead, you see jagged, salt-encrusted rock formations and vast, red-tinted plains that stretch to the horizon under a thin, high-altitude atmosphere. 2026 research into the Atacama's lithobionic communities, microbes that live inside the pores of rocks to escape the UV radiation, is providing the blueprint for where we should look for life when the next generation of Mars rovers begins drilling into the Martian crust. It is a landscape of dead beauty that hides a microscopic world of incredible resilience. Further south, we find the Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia, the world's largest salt flat. Stretching over 4,000 square miles at an altitude of 12,000 feet, this was once a massive prehistoric lake that dried up, leaving behind a crust of salt several meters thick. In the dry season, it is a blindingly white, hexagonal pattern plain that looks like a frozen ocean on a distant ice moon. But when a thin layer of water covers the salt, it becomes a celestial mirror, reflecting the sky so perfectly that the horizon disappears entirely. This isn't just a visual marvel, it is a geological powerhouse. Beneath the salt crust lies more than half of the world's known lithium reserves. In 2026, as the demand for battery technology reaches an all-time high, the Salar de Uyuni is at the center of a technological gold rush. The geological process that created this, the evaporation of mineral-rich water in a closed drainage basin, is identical to the processes that form the vast salt deposits on Mars, such as those in the Gale crater. Standing in the middle of the Salar, with nothing but white salt and blue sky in every direction, you realize how small the line is between Earth and the cosmos. The fifth location on our list takes us to the Medusa Lake, Lake Natron in Tanzania. This is perhaps the most macabre alien landscape on the planet. The water is a deep, blood-red color, a result of salt-loving cyanobacteria that thrive in the lake's extreme alkalinity, with a pH that can reach 10.5, nearly as alkaline as ammonia. The water is so caustic that it can burn the skin and eyes of animals that aren't adapted to it. But the most haunting feature is the lake's ability to calcify carcasses. Animals that die in the water are preserved in a tomb of sodium carbonate, turning into eerie, stone-like statues that wash up on the shore. This extreme chemistry is driven by the nearby Oldoño Lengai volcano, the only volcano on Earth that erupts natural carbonatite lavas. This cold black lava turns white upon contact with moisture, creating a volcanic landscape that looks like it belongs on a planet with entirely different laws of physics. 2026 geological surveys are studying these lavas to understand how carbonate-based volcanism might function on cryovolcanic moons like Enceladus. For a splash of extraterrestrial color, we turn to the Zhangye landform in China, often called the Painted Mountains. These mountains look like they were painted with broad strokes of red, orange, and yellow. This isn't a trick of the light. It is the result of 24 million years of red sandstone and mineral deposits being layered on top of one another. The alien visuals were created when the same tectonic plates that formed the Himalayas squeezed the land, tilting the layers and exposing them to the elements. The wind and rain then carved the mountains into the flowing, surreal shapes we see today. In 2026, researchers are using hyperspectral imaging, the same tech used to map mineralogy on the moon, to track how different mineral concentrations in the sandstone react to atmospheric changes. It is a reminder that the Earth's crust is a dynamic, multi-layered record of planetary history, capable of producing beauty that feels fundamentally unearthly. Finally, we arrive at the Wadi Rum in Jordan, known appropriately as the Valley of the Moon. If you've seen a movie set on Mars in the last 20 years, it was likely filmed here. The massive sandstone and granite mountains rise out of the red desert floor like the remnants of an ancient, alien civilization. The narrow canyons and towering arches were formed over millions of years of weathering, not by water, but by wind and extreme temperature fluctuations. The high iron oxide content gives the sand its signature deep red hue, and the 2026 geological mapping of the area has revealed a complex network of underground aquifers that have been trapped for millennia. It is a landscape of profound silence and scale, where the geological architecture feels too deliberate to be natural. As we look at these 7 locations through the lens of 2026 science, we realize that they are more than just destinations. They are terrestrial analogs, proxies for the rest of the universe. By studying the Danakil Depression or the Atacama Desert, we aren't just learning about Earth. We are practicing for the day we finally land on a world that isn't our own. These landscapes prove that Earth is a planet of extremes, a world that is still evolving, still surprising us, and still holding on to secrets that look like they belong among the stars. Which of these alien landscapes would you most want to explore? Or which one do you think looks the most like another planet? I'm leaning towards the Danakil Depression. There's something about those yellow acid ponds that just screams Venus. Let me know your pick in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey through Earth's most bizarre geological wonders, make sure to like the video. It really helps the channel's growth geology, so to speak. And if you want to stay updated on the most incredible discoveries of 2026, from the depths of the ocean to the peaks of the Painted Mountains, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have a lot more alien worlds to find right here on Earth. and I want you there for every discovery. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.